Have you ever heard artists saying that some of their paintings seem to paint themselves, that they almost have a life of their own, deciding what they want to be? In Soul Food, we take a look at art and color. We'll see how it affects the soul and provides a link between the personality and the spirit.
Color defines us, it expresses us. We are living Technicolor dreamcoats. Every aspect of who we are at an emotional, psychological, spiritual level is expressed through color. So every single color surrounding us in the world is impacting on us all the time. And the more we conscientize ourselves in relation to color, the more we can heal ourselves and bring ourselves back into a state of balance. I was able to work in this way with myself for many, many years and heal myself from a chronic illness. So what I do is what I've verified for myself.
And you worked in...
The way that the classes happen is very much spontaneously. So I trust at every given class that exactly what's meant to happen will happen.
It's a total organic process. You don't have any fixed idea once you start. And basically it's just letting everything flow.
The process is so beautiful and freeing that it allows everyone to remain in their integrity while I'm also in mine, and if there needs to be anything happening from me as a facilitator, I'll just naturally pick up an inner directive in relation to a specific person.
Right to the edge.
Just start to work with the color and then bring in other colors and see where this takes you. Otherwise the energy's locked and it says, what am I? No, define me. There needs to be a conduit in every situation, and that doesn't mean somebody who is bigger, better or higher, but somebody who's elected to be a channel for a focus of energy.
Coming to these classes, I've been absolutely intrigued by all the faces of people working, and they get so concentrated on themselves, they seem to live within their own little area, that I can actually, without them being self-conscious, paint them. And that has led me into portrait painting, which has become an absolute passion with me. I can't resist a new face. When someone comes into the class, I say, oh, please, may I paint this one? And otherwise, we put Fiona down, and she sits reluctantly for 5 minutes and bobs up every now and again. I think it's very important that it is a group energy, so that the individuals each are very individual, but they build up a group energy, and that makes a special place individually.
Okay, here, my darling. Do you want a big crystal?
There is a spiritual connection that gets made, even if it's at a subconscious level, because you are not thinking what's coming out. So therefore you are doing what you are.
This is very liberating because we don't have a goal. My idea is to think, actually I'm going to throw it away, which I don't, but then suddenly you're free to do whatever. You can really do what you want because there is no measurement, there is nothing to achieve, and that's when you really let what you want to do, it comes through.
Often we work with colors that we wouldn't normally wear or use in our daily lives. And I think that tends to extend one. For example, today I've used yellow, and yellow is not a color that I would take to naturally.
What color is doing is that it's facilitating our growth as spiritual beings. It's as if you're giving yourself a cleansing auric bath. And I would encourage everybody to just pick up whatever they've got, crayons, watercolor paints, and just start to paint and see what happens.
Shot Sufi in our Durban studio.
But before we get into that studio discussion, we chat to Fiona Almeleh, a color therapist from Cape Town, who gave us a bit of insight into using color as a method of healing. If you're intrigued about that, stay tuned. Subtle color and fine detail are benchmarks of Fiona Almeleh's creativity and skilled craftsmanship as an artist. The spontaneous and spiritual quality of her work was inspired years ago when she realized the power and healing energy of color after a period of ill health.
Just over 15 years ago, I'd been suffering from ME for several years, and I'd worked with different modalities, with different healers, and I came to the point of understanding that I was the only one who could really engage with my own healing process. And I think that the best thing for me to say is that I surrendered. I decided that if I allowed guidance to come through and assist me, I could really let go of how I thought I should go ahead, what I thought I should be doing, and allow something else that was wiser to take that place in me. And the moment I said yes to that process, I began to understand that the color that I'd been using in my paintings was a way to healing for myself. And the other side of that was the fact that I'd always worked, if you like, prescriptively. I'd been given projects, I was commissioned, I'd been told what to do, and I think my soul was aching to simply express itself as truly and authentically as possible.
The actual art is just one way of accessing the healing energies of color. Meditation and contemplation also helped Fiona identify these energies.
For me, I found this was a spiritual healing. It opened a spiritual doorway that up until then I'd had a sense of, but I didn't have an idea of how to access that pathway to something higher in myself. And since then, through the process that I've gone through, I've discovered that working with people in a similar way accesses that for them, and it's a very valuable tool.
Depending on the person she's healing, Fiona uses the vibrational energy of a particular color to heal the person physically or emotionally. According to her, each person has a particular color energy which she needs to tap into.
Working with color, specifically for me, has been a way of working with vibrational medicine, if you like. And in the same way that somebody might work with sound vibrationally to heal, or movement, I work with color. And color has a correspondence to everything that we are. Every part of us is represented by color. Every mood, every emotion runs through the full gamut and the full spectrum that is available to us. So the moment you start working with color, it can't lie. It just can't lie. Color never tells an untruth about where you are in the process.
Her work and that of her students is an expression of what lies in their subconscious. This can be an instantaneous expression or an idea which has developed over time.
When it comes to the work that I do, the textural embroidery and my paintings, whether they're acrylic or watercolor, it's almost as if we all have hidden behind veils of consciousness secrets that are waiting to reveal themselves about who we are, but in the bigger picture. And every time that I open to doing a new piece of work, it's completely unplanned, which means that I know as much about it as anybody else. And it always comes as such a delicious surprise to see there's always something there, and it's always wanting to grow, and it's always wanting expression. And so by doing this and committing to that process, there's a beautiful unfoldment in the spirit and the psyche of a person.
Wow, absolutely amazing. I didn't know that color could be so healing. You know, all those beautiful shades. It kind of like resembles heaven, doesn't it?
It
I'm
does,
just assuming
it does.
what the color scheme of heaven will be.
I think it could be that.
We all express our feelings and our moods through color, and blue gives us a sense of peace and tranquility. We all know that when we go to the sea, our energies are recharged and our spirits are uplifted. And with the right choice of blues, we can invite a sense of peace, relaxation, tranquility. Different tints or hues of blue, what we're choosing to do is in a very subtle way manipulate other people's response. You have to be careful because blue is a sedating color as well, so you don't want to fall asleep in the midst of that. We talk about blue-blooded because when we refer to blue blood, we're referring to something that is regal. We're talking about princes, kings. We're talking about blood that is of purity and also that has a great deal of integrity.
Couple and hang out with them a bit, we've decided to send them off to a spiritual consultant who's going to read their aura and tell us whether their true love really is for real.
Now it's forever.
Hi, my name's Fiona and I work intuitively with spirit.
We can't go to someone like a psychic or tarot card reader because we believe that only Allah can predict our future for us and Allah holds our future in His hands.
He's alright. If we can get some advice from someone, there's nothing wrong with that.
Some spiritual healers consult tarot cards. Others look at the stars. But Fiona gets a sense of people through the heart.
Nobody ever said that love would be easy. It demands I work through the heart. And I listen to the wisdom of the heart, the ability that we all have to intuitively connect with the people that are around us. There's the possibility that Mushra at times may wish to undertake certain things, maybe different projects, and perhaps numerous projects at the same time. And Zunaid, you may see her becoming tired, and that may have a negative impact on the relationship. She may be simply needing to learn what her limits are. So you may have to, like a good warrior, stand back and just wait. Zunaid may need alone time, that he's quite a private person, and he may simply need time to download, time for quiet, and those are times where you may find that you want to make a lot more noise because there's that strong will coming in. Honor him, love him for the space that he needs, and to give him that space. And then when he's ready to come back fully, you'll be there. When I talk about friction, that's how the diamond is polished. Okay, so the friction in life is what hones us. It's what makes us truly who we are, our authentic selves. I mentioned to them as well that with all human relationships, there can be a seesawing effect. So when one is needing strength, the other one will be able to give them strength. When one of them is needing encouragement, the other one will be there ready with that encouragement.
Fiona gave us a gift and she blessed the gift and she blessed our marriage. This comes from the Kalahari, and when the sun gets really hot there, it melts the sand, and these two crystals or stones, this one presents a male and this one presents a female, and this so reminds me of Zunaid and I, because this one's taller and fairer and this is shorter and darker. Mevrouw and Zunaid.